I did not know going into the weekend, Zach. I wasn't paying enough attention. I didn't really care. The USA basketball women's Olympic team roster was going to be released. I didn't know it was happening. If it did, I probably would have thought to myself, I wonder what the Caitlin Clark angle of this entire thing is going to be. And it turns out Caitlin Clark not on the USA basketball team. And like everything else with Caitlin Clark, all hell has broken loose. She is not on the 12-woman roster. And it's been right along with the stupidity of the discussion surrounding her hip check, receiving end of the hip check against the Chicago Sky and Kennedy Carter. Like, there is no rational thought to be had at all when it comes to Caitlin Clark at 22 years old, who has never participated in a USA basketball senior team training camp, including the one in April, because she was playing in the NCAA tournament, so she had to turn it down. She has been in the WNBA, been a pro for 6 seconds. She's not on the USA basketball team, and you would think that women's basketball is now coming to an end. Some people just realized women's basketball was a thing, and now those same people think that women's basketball is coming to an end. I feel like this gets dumber and dumber every time we start talking about Caitlin Clark.
Anytime something comes up and Caitlin Clark's name is involved, not only is it front page of ESPN.com and all the websites and everywhere you go and everyone's talking about it, it makes me laugh so hard at this point now, because it is gross. It's gross what's going on with Caitlin Clark just in general all over the place, because there should be more people applauding the fact that we're actually watching women's sports than not, and that's another story. We've talked about that a little bit before. But anything she does is going to be front page news. And if she gets snubbed out of something, oh my God, forget about front page. We got to go breaking news into like live programming to say Caitlin Clark didn't make the Olympic team. Or I look at it like this. Are we doing it for a popularity contest, or are you trying to get a gold medal? Because if you really do have 12 people better than Caitlin Clark, then she doesn't deserve to be on the team. If you want eyeballs on it, they were stupid not to put Caitlin Clark there, because she puts eyeballs on everything right now. It doesn't. If you're looking for ratings, if you want more sponsors, right now, Caitlin Clark should have been part of the 12. But you said it. These people, they like LeBron and all these guys that play for the U.S. men's team, like 3 years before they actually play, they have to start going to like that camp in, Vegas in July or whatever it is not practice. These guys don't need to practice, but just to go over whatever. If she wasn't available, she wasn't available. She's not going to be on the team. But don't make this front page news. I don't give a shit if she's on the team or not. And if she is, great. And if she isn't, okay, I understand why. But don't make it that it's this thing. And you're right, it's always a thing now with Caitlin Clark. Oh, my God.
Let's on social media at Sports Like, and this is Unsportsmanlike, ESPN Radio, morning 6 to 10 a.m. Michelle Smallman, she's reacting to not only Caitlin Clark not being on the Olympic basketball team, but a USA Today story citing unnamed sources. Christine Brennan reporting that one of the reasons Caitlin Clark not on the team, because there was concern over the backlash if she was on the team and only played sparingly, minute minutes in Paris. Here is Michelle Smallman's reaction on Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio at Unsportslike.
USA Women's Basketball was assembling this Olympic squad, and they said, strictly based on the numbers, while Caitlin Clark is an outstanding basketball player, we just don't think she's there yet. And we don't want to take away a spot from someone else that we believe is more deserving from a basketball standpoint, even though we know that she brings millions of eyeballs to this sport. If they left her off this roster because there's concern that her millions of fans would be upset with the amount of playing time that she has, that is absolutely ridiculous. That should never even be part of the conversation. It should be who's worthy enough to be on the team and who is not. And Caitlin Clark certainly has that resume if you want to put her in that conversation. It just feels to me like I've been waiting my entire life for women's sports to be getting the shine that it deserves. And we are here. And we're self-sabotaging this thing. I cannot understand why there is so much resistance to Caitlin Clark, who has done absolutely nothing but prove that she's a baller and handle every situation, every pressure, every responsibility with grace.
But here's the problem. Here's how I would reply to Michelle Smallman. There's not resistance to Caitlin Clark. There's resistance to handing Caitlin Clark the keys to the sport just because she is the most recognizable name in the sport right now. We sit here and we, to this day, sing Michael Jordan's praises, and he has been put on this mountaintop, this pedestal. He's this mythical legend with how hard he worked and how he overcame adversity and how he got cut from his JV squad and how he didn't cut corners. And after the bad boy Pistons, Jordan rules him. What did he do? He got into the gym and he bulked up and he accepted it and took on the challenge. These same people that worship Michael Jordan for all these things want to just hand Caitlin Clark everything because now we know her. We know her. You can, when someone asks you now, hey, what do you think of women's basketball? Instead of the typical response from these same people of women playing basketball, get in the kitchen. Now they can say, oh, Caitlin Clark, and act like they actually give a shit. And then as soon as she is not handed the red carpet of this entire thing, then they can say outrage, and then they can get mad at the other women. The whole thing is just a cycle of bullshit. And when I've been waiting for all this time, and again, I'm not trying to pile on Michelle Smallman, waiting all this time for women's basketball to get its shine. Plenty of women have preceded Caitlin Clark, where we've all had ample opportunity to give them their shine. The best player on the planet, A'ja Wilson, she's on the team. Where's her shine? How come we're not consistently talking about the greatness of A'ja Wilson and the now two-time world champion Las Vegas Aces? The whole thing is so disingenuous, and it leads me to this. Caitlin Clark fans and supporters, they're a cult. The entire thing is a cult. They don't actually care about women's basketball. They actually couldn't care less about women's basketball. They care about Caitlin Clark, and that's it. So stop with the elevate the sport, elevate the game. This would get eyeballs on the sport it desperately needs. Now, a 2-week tournament, it's going to be fine. Going for gold, United States of America, going to be fine. This is a meritocracy. We're not beholden to NBC to put Caitlin Clark on. But these people don't actually care about women's basketball. It's disingenuous. These people care about Caitlin Clark, and these people are a cult.
It's like the Swifties out there, right? It's like if you're a Taylor. I feel like I'm a Clarkie. I feel like I'm a Clarkie. I feel like everything you just said was exactly how I look at the WNBA women's basketball now. I don't know if I cared before all this happened. And now that Caitlin Clark's a part of it, I feel like she should be like top stage on primetime every night because maybe there's a chance for you to watch. It has nothing to do with black or white or anything. I swear to you. And it's going to seem like that because now I care because Caitlin Clark's there. No, she was popular. I didn't watch one women's Final Four Sweet 16 regular season game in college basketball. I'm going to guess almost my entire life before the Caitlin Clark thing happened, and I sat and watched the games. So whatever she did to me, she did. She got it. I don't know what it was. And maybe it was her and Reese going back and forth and, maybe we could see them again in the championship. I would have never in a million years thought that I would think like that because I really didn't care. And it's not because I don't think women should be playing basketball. They should be in the kitchen. That's not it. It's a popularity thing. I like the shiny object in the corner. That's me. I see it. Ooh, Caitlin Clark. Oh my God, she's so good at playing basketball. Look at her. She's dominating. She's in the Final Four. She's in the championship. I don't necessarily agree with the comments that Smallman said. I don't necessarily agree with everything she said because I think some of it is a little bit stupid. But I will tell you this. I do think there could have been a spot on that team you could have put her to put a couple more eyeballs on there. We are a very disingenuous kind of rooting country when it comes to stuff like this. A lot of people just want to see the shiny object. I think there's a better chance for me to watch them on TV if Caitlin Clark was there. But it's not like all of a sudden now, she's not there. No shot I'm watching it. I'm not watching this because Caitlin Clark's not getting her minutes. I just would have rather probably seen her there. But that's because I'm a fringe observer of this sport. I'm not a WNBA lifer. And yeah, that's me. But like, I kind of think that you were yelling at me a little bit and I deserve it in the last rant. And I kind of think that I agreed with some of the stuff Michelle Smallman said, but not all of it. I don't know where I am on this because I've never been here before. I've never been in this spot before. Right.
I think what's important, though, is that you're admitting I'd like to see her on the USA basketball team because she's all I care about.
Right,
you have
right.
sat here previously and said, oh, man, I can't wait for the ascension of women's basketball. Me, Zach Krantz, I have been biding my time, just waiting for this to come to the crust of the earth from the magma pockets below the surface. No,
Right.
You haven't been doing that. You're saying I like the shiny thing. I like Caitlin Clark. I probably would be more prone to watch and pay attention through the full 2 weeks of Olympics, maybe not just the gold medal game if Caitlin Clark was there. And so, okay, but there are so many of these same people that are saying women's basketball, yes, oh man, it's our time. And then Caitlin Clark, God forbid, at 22 years old, isn't involved after being in the WNBA for 7 seconds. And this is what's killed the sport. It's the world against Caitlin Clark. It's absolutely miserable. To me, all of this stuff is just getting angry to get angry. People can't name the women's basketball coach.
No.
USA basketball. And it's just really, really, really ridiculous.
My dog's going crazy. Excuse my dog right now. I don't know what's it. I'm going to yell at my dog. I'll be right back. Keep recording.
All right. And by the way, for those of you scoring at home, that's Cheryl Reeve, who is the head coach of USA basketball. But these people are a cult. And Michelle Smallman reacting to the Christine Brennan story, I think that it's an appropriate reason to worry if you're USA basketball, because if Caitlin Clark goes to Paris and is not playing an awful lot, seeing sparing minutes, not playing in some of these games, and the USA is still going to win gold, but there's going to be an intense backlash, an incredible backlash. And so it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't. What I was saying, Zach, is that USA basketball should be. It's clear that they should be concerned about Caitlin Clark going to Paris and then playing minute minutes, because then people are going to tune in,
right,
and then they're not going to see her, and then they're going to be pissed off the same equal way they are that she's not on the team, because again, these people are unhinged, they're deranged, they're a cult, they're not thinking rationally. So it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't if you're USA basketball. Right. So what do? You bring in Diana Taurasi, who's 42 years old. She's the legacy pick. But Ken, I thought you said it's a meritocracy. It is. When you've won as many gold medals and championships and awards as Diana Taurasi has, even though she's in the sunset of her career, it's still a meritocracy. She has still earned her way on this basketball team based on what she's done for this country previously. She's owed via meritocracy a last go-around. And then you know what you do? World Championships 2 years from now, it's going to be the most watched damn women's world championships in the history of the sport. If that's what you're looking for, and a tournament that desperately needs that over the Olympics, which have been around and have been hugely watched well before Caitlin Clark and will be well after Caitlin Clark. She'll be on that world championship team, and then we'll see her in Los Angeles in 2028, and then you can all Captain America her, and we'll have a great time, and we'll celebrate America. Stop. You're getting mad for nothing, and you don't really care. And this has turned political, because then I see Nikki Haley tweeting about it. Oh, well, Caitlin Clark has more three-pointers than nonsense. And by the way, every guard on this roster, except for Chelsea Gray, who's been injured for Las Vegas, who, by the way, meritocracy has, based on her previous experience, earned her way onto this team if healthy. And she might not be, and maybe Caitlin Clark will get on it. But everybody's a better percentage-wise three-point shooter at the guard position that's on this team than Caitlin Clark to this point in the 2024 WNBA season. So enough with that. But what's happening is that the grifters are jumping on board, and this poor woman, Caitlin Clark, who all she wants to do is ball and all she wants to do is compete. She is about to become the focal point of white victim to the right-wing grifters, and this is about to get as ugly as it can possibly be, because now she's going to be propped up at all of these rallies and all of these events, and she's going to become the poster child for something she absolutely did not ask for.
She needs to just, at this point, stay indoors and stay away from all that, because that's the only thing that's going to make her win this. The only way she wins this is to stay out of it, not comment. Like she said, what was it? She's not disappointed or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
stay out of it. Stay away from it. You are a rookie in the WNBA. There are going to be plenty of opportunities for you to do. Listen, she'll probably be the number one person on the next team. You know what I mean? Like the 2028 team or whatever it's going to be. She'll probably be the number one name on there. And then the 32 and all that. She's just going to be that person. And that's fine. But like I said, maybe it would give me more opportunity to watch. Maybe I'd be more intrigued to watch it, but I don't care. Like the fact that people are so up in arms and getting so crazy, and the fact that you had to bring up the political stuff because it's out there is the stupidest shit I have ever heard. Stay out of it, politicians. No one cares what you think about Caitlin Clark's 3-point percentage. I don't want to hear it. Tell me how you're going to help my taxes more than anything else. I don't care about the other shit. And I don't want your opinion on my sports stuff. I just don't. I don't care. And you're right. It's going to totally go down that path now. We're in the wrong year for any of this to happen, especially with all the politics going on. But in all honesty, Caitlin Clark, yes. If first off, you know it, and we both know this. If somebody does drop out, Caitlin Clark's the first name. I mean, it's not even a question at this point. It's almost like they're waiting, or they knew someone was going to drop out to leave her name off the list, just so someone could come in shining in the moment and be like, by the way, blah, blah, blah can't play on the team. Caitlin Clark's going to take her place. Let's go USA. Like, it's going to be such a thing now. I just wish it didn't go into the depths of like garbage, of the depths of like politics, of the depths of the racist stuff that we have to talk about and the racism around the country. Yet it's going to go there. Someone's going to see it, and it's going to be a shining star for them to let me get on my pedestal and go here for Caitlin Clark. She should be on the team. She's not there because of insert comment, and you could just be able to insert your comment there for anyone out there. Nikki Haley, shut up. All these other people, shut up. I hope you have a great year in politics and campaigning or whatever the hell you're going to end up doing, but stay out of this. This is going to make it so much worse if this happens. And you're right. It's going to happen.
Again, USA basketball was in a damned if you do, damned if you don't. She didn't go to one training camp. Not her fault, but didn't go to one training camp for the U.S. senior national team. This is a meritocracy. All 12 players on the roster deserve it more so than Caitlin Clark, in my opinion. And you can cherry pick any number you want from the first 6 weeks of the WNBA season. But all these women that have made it over Caitlin Clark have been there, done that, been on the senior team, competed for country, continue to be strong players. One in the instance of Diana Taurasi is maybe the most decorated player in the history of all of women's basketball. So she's absolutely allowed to have one last go around, as Caitlin Clark is probably going to demand when she's 42 years old and is staring her final Olympic Games right in the eye. And another thing too, a lot of the TV ratings are going to suffer. I bet NBC is pissed. Excuse me, do you get a paycheck from NBC?
Right.
Why do you give a flying fuck about what the TV ratings are going to do? We love to do this to try and tear down other fan bases, and we get it a lot as South Floridians. Oh, the nation doesn't want to see that. The world doesn't want to see that. Going to get bad TV numbers because the Panthers are involved. Who cares? It doesn't matter. What is that constant fan need to go to TV ratings? It doesn't affect you at all. You don't get a network at all. You have no bearing on it whatsoever, other than to watch it or not watch it. That's not a valid argument because you aren't a TV executive, you fool.
Right. It's such a boring excuse now, like to use that as something. I mean, give me a break. First off, I probably won't even watch it on regular TV anyway. I'll wait till it goes on demand and watch it without commercials. Hate to say that, folks, but I'm throwing that out there because today's a very honest day for me. I feel like Ken's going to catch me on a couple things here today that I probably shouldn't say, but it's going to end up happening anyway. That's just the kind of fucking weekend I had. All right, folks, just deal with me today. Deal with it. Nobody cares about the fucking TV ratings except for my wife, who sells advertising for radio or TV. You know, like that's the only people that care are the executives for the TV station and the salespeople. Me and Ken and you out there watching and listening, we don't give a shit, because you know what? If we like it, we're going to watch it. And if we don't like it, we're not. And we're not going to care what the ratings are afterwards. And we all sit down for at least 10 seconds to watch the Super Bowl. That's why there's 150 billion people when they get their ratings come out have that. And people are going to watch the Olympics, and people are going to watch the fringe Olympic sports too that no one cares about. No one cares about the goddamn ratings. There's only a couple people, a handful of people that sit around a table like I'm sitting at with a horse picture behind them probably also. That's the only people that give a shit about the ratings. Don't use that. Lousy excuse, boring excuse, old excuse. I don't care about that anymore. No.
I promise you this is what's going to happen to NBC. Still going to get its millions and millions and millions of viewers across 2 weeks like they always do. The advertising partners are going to be just fine. And here's what's going to happen. People are either A, going to double down in support of this USA women's basketball team and make sure they tune in to this team winning gold. And they're going to win gold. They are undefeated in this modern era of using pros. Like they're going to run the table with this group easily and win gold. So you're going to have people doubling down on making sure it's appointment viewing, right, or hate watching them. All those true patriots who wanted to see Caitlin Clark are going to tune in and actually root against the representatives of the United States of America because Caitlin Clark isn't there. And I can promise you that the gold medal game for the U.S. women's national team is going to be very close, if not in that 10 million viewer number. And then this whole debate and discussion that we're having here in June will look so stupid, stupider than it does right now. And you want to see maturity. You want to see someone who has actually been able to keep their collective head during all of this, say all the right things, and conduct herself in the most professional way possible. It's the source of all this angst. At Indiana Fever on Twitter, Caitlin Clark asked, how frustrated were you? You're one of the Olympic team, and I want you to marvel in the greatness of this woman who does not deserve all the bullshit hurricane that swirls around her at all times.
Your level of disappointment not hearing your name on the roster?
Honestly, no disappointment. Like, I think it just gives you something to work for. It's a dream. Hopefully one day I can be there, and I think it's just a little more motivation. You remember that, and hopefully in 4 years, when 4 years comes back around, I can be there.
Did you have a direct conversation with managing director or whomever's over there at USAB recently?
Yeah, they called me and let me know, and before everything came out, which was really respectful of them, and I appreciated that. And they did the same for every girl that made the team or every girl that didn't make the team. There's a lot of players in the Olympic pool, so it wasn't like I was the only one they had to call. They had to make quite a few calls.
Are you looking forward to a break? From Olympic action, basketball in general, I guess.
Absolutely. I mean, it's going to be really nice. I mean, I've loved competing every single second, but it's going to be a great month for my body to, first of all, get rest and get healthy and just get a little time away from basketball and the craziness of everything that's been going on, and, just find some peace and quiet for myself. But then additionally, a great opportunity for us to work and get better, a great opportunity for myself to get in the weight room, to work on the court and work at things that I want to get better at that I maybe didn't have time going from college to the pro season. So I'm looking forward to it. But at the same time, we still have a month of games where we have a lot of opportunities to win a lot of games. So that's where my main focus is.
My God.
Seasoned pro, right.
How reasonable is that? And I'm sure she's disappointed, as she should be, and she's a competitor, but she understands. And also, she's been playing nonstop since November through a long NCAA tournament run, right into the draft, right into playing preseason games, right into the regular season. These 2 weeks, if you're sitting here saying the WNBA, they're being too physical, too mean to Caitlin Clark. They're being too mean to Caitlin Clark. Why are they hitting her? Now she can actually get her body rested, get in the weight room, get some muscle there, and continue her progression towards becoming what all of you want, and that's the best player in the sport. There's no downside to this other than your precious TV numbers that you shouldn't give two shits about.
Right. I think it was a unbelievable answer by her. A great professional, been there, done that answer by her. Something to work for. Can't wait. Setback. I mean, it was just a perfect answer. She could have come out and been all hellfire and been like, I really think I deserve a spot, but I'll just be there in 4 years. No, she did all the right whether someone told her what to say or not, she answered those things perfectly. And every question is going to be about it until those girls literally tip off in Paris. It's going to be all about her just in case, whatever. Just let it go. She's not on the team. Big deal. She'll be on the next one. She didn't look like she was crying, and I don't think anyone else was crying for her during that press conference or that presser she just did outside practice. Let her be. Leave it alone. It's over with. The story should be done by now, but because it's Caitlin Clark, We're going to have it at the top of ESPN.com and the websites and the shows every day. And I guess that's it. I guess that's what Caitlin Clark brings to the table, right? But if she wasn't, would we be talking about this today? Would we be talking about this today if Caitlin Clark was not Caitlin Clark and she was good but not great? She didn't make the team and they announced, we wouldn't even talk about the 12 women put on that team right now today. That's how incredible this story is with her, that everything that's around her, surrounds her, touches her, almost touches her, is front page news. It's pretty incredible. It really is pretty incredible that this is taking the toll it's taking on our sports kind of country, our sports kind of everything industry, what she's done. I give it up to her that she was very humble with that answer, because she could have went in any direction and been any person she wanted to be in there. She ended up being very humble and very like, yes, I'm excited for my next opportunity.
It's just, it's inconceivable that we're in this place. And if you want to watch Caitlin Clark in 2024, you know what you have to do? Turn on the TV.
That's it.
There's more than enough Caitlin Clark. You don't need the Olympics, and the world doesn't need the Olympics to have Caitlin Clark showcased. And she would not have played a lot. And then you all would have been pissed off there too. So stop it already.